Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Stories around the world, stories here at home. This is the National News Broadcast bringing to you live from the National News Studios here at Rupavahini. We're ready to bring you the top stories here at home and around the world. I'm Charita Minipurarachi.
And a very good evening indeed. I'm Sharifa Tahir. Let's take a look at the headlines.
Narendra Modi sworn in for the third time as India's Prime Minister. A rousing welcome for Sri Lankan President in India who arrived for Modi's swearing-in ceremony. Showers for several districts today as well. The extraordinary incident witnessed by Rajitha. Sajith ready for 2 debates with the National People's Power. Solutions to many demands of railway engine drivers.
We move on to those and other stories in detail now, taking a look at the top stories. The swearing-in ceremony of Narendra Modi as India's new Prime Minister has taken place in New Delhi city this afternoon.
Swearing in of the new cabinet has also taken place simultaneously. The colourful ceremony of the new cabinet of ministers taking oath was conducted at the President's mansion, the Rashtrapati Bhavan in New Delhi. More than 8,000 persons, including numerous ethnic groups, professionals, artists, politicians, members of social organizations and intellectuals were invited for the occasion. The event was organised under strict security arrangements. As a result, the New Delhi zone was declared as a prohibited area for air transport. Under the Neighbour First policy of Narendra Modi, 7 regional heads of state have attended the swearing-in ceremony. The first heads of state received an invitation to attend with Sri Lankan President Ranil Wickremesinghe and Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Prime Minister of Nepal Pushpa Kamal Dal, Maldivian President Mohamed Moyusu, Bhutanese Prime Minister Shireen Tob, Vice President of Seychelles Ahmed Azif and Prime Minister of Mauritius Islands Praveen Kumar Jagannath have also participated in the ceremony. The official ceremony has got underway with the arrival of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President of India Draupadi Murmu.
मंत्री जी कुछ ही देर में तीसरी बार हुई है माननीय राष्ट्रपति महोदय.
Prime Minister Modi was appointed for his 3rd term in office after taking oaths before the President.
मैं नरेंद्र दामोदर दास मोदी ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं कि मैं विधि द्वारा स्थापित भारत के संविधान के प्रति सच्ची श्रद्धा और निष्ठा रखूंगा.
Narendra Modi has entered history as the 2nd Indian Prime Minister, was appointed 3 times to the post of Prime Minister since India's first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe arrived in India this morning to attend the swearing-in ceremony of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who has been elected for a 3rd consecutive term. President Wickremesinghe was warmly welcomed at the airport by Additional Secretary P. Kumaran on behalf of the Indian Ministry of External Affairs, Indian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka Santosh Jha, Indian Ocean Region Additional Secretary Puneet Agrawal and Sri Lankan High Commissioner to India Shenika Senviratna. The reception also featured a dance performance showcasing Indian culture. The swearing-in ceremony, presided over by the President of India, Draupadi Murmu, will take place this afternoon at Rashtrapati Bhavan in New Delhi. President Wickremesinghe's arrival received significant media coverage in India, with billboards featuring his and Prime Minister Modi's images displayed around key locations in New Delhi. Accompanying President Wickremesinghe on this visit are President Secretary Saman Ekanayake, Foreign Affairs Ministry Secretary Aruni Vijayawardena, Government Information Director General Dinith Chintaka Karunaratne and President's Private Secretary Sandra Pereira. The Department of Meteorology says that rainfall is expected in several districts in the island tonight as well. Several rounds of showers are expected in the western, Sabaragamuwa, northwestern and southern provinces as well, and as in the districts of Kandy and Nuwara too. Duty meteorologist Malit Fernando of the Department of Meteorology forecasts that showers will occur at times in western Sabaragamuwa and northwestern provinces and in Kandy, Nuwara, Galle and Mathura districts. Fairly heavy showers above 75 mm are likely at some places in western and Sabaragamuwa provinces and in Nuwara district. The spokesman also predicts that light showers may occur in North Central Province and in Mannar and Mathale districts. Showers or thunder showers may occur at a few places in Uva Province and in Ampara and Batticlaw districts in the evening or night. The Met Department adds wind speed may increase up to 55 to 65 km per hour at times. Kergal District's Disaster Management Assistant Director Anushka Chamila says vehicle transport on the Colombo Kandy Road has been restored since this morning. A danger of falling rocks has been created in Lower Kadugannava area due to the uprooting of a tree. Application of chemicals to remove the threatening items was conducted yesterday and vehicle transport was restricted. Our correspondent says after the application of the chemicals, several dangerous boulders were splintered. Thereafter, the pieces of rocks were removed and the road was reopened for vehicle transport at 6:45 a.m.
And meanwhile, leader of the opposition Sajith Premadasa says he is ready for 2 days of debates with the National People's Party. Here are some of the opinions expressed on this current political situation. Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa said that Sajith Premadasa is ready for a debate at any time. He added that rumours were propagated earlier. He added that it was parliamentarian Nalin Bandara who had first called for a debate. However, the NP was asking for economic committee debate. The opposition leader added that, however, the NPP got afraid of this move and requested first to conduct a debate of the leaders. He further said that they are prepared for a 2-day debate including an economic debate and a leaders debate. Sunil Handuneti of the NPP said that the question they were going to ask at the debate was what was the hidden hand of distributing buses and computers. They also wanted to ask him that when Sajith became president, would not these philanthropists ask something in return from him?
මං කවුද කියන්නවත් එපා. මං ඉස්කෝල වලට දැන් රාජ්‍ය බලය නැතුව බස් බෙදනවා. පරිගණක දෙනවා. එයානේ හොඳම එක්කෙනා. ඇයි රජබේ එයාව හංගගෙන ඉන්නේ? එයා හොඳ නැද්ද? රජිත්ට වඩා. අභියෝගයක් බාර ගන්න පුද්ගල.
Ravi Karunanayake of the UNP said that it would have been much appropriate if both Anura and Sajith kept on the sides of the president rather than engaging in debate. In such an event, the people would realize who is the most suitable to govern, whether the person who rescued the country from a tragedy some 25 months ago or any other reason. He added that only President Ranil Wickremesinghe will be able to create the change needed by the country.
Samagi Janabalavegya parliamentarian Rajitha Senaratne says that the most amazing incident he has witnessed in his 30 years of political life has been the restoration of the collapsed economy of the country. Addressing a public meeting in Kaluthara, he further said that even the international community has acknowledged this fact. Rajitha Senaratne says there are no simple solution to the crisis as the problem is extremely complex in nature. He further said that the country has deliberately fallen into this position. In order to survive, Sri Lanka will have to come out through the mouth of the well to which it had fallen into. Senaratne added the country has achieved progress and they are happy about it. He further said that a US senator has recently identified Sri Lanka's economic progress as an economic miracle and that he has not seen such an incident in the history. The parliamentarian also said that yet we are criticizing the rulers who brought this victory. Rajitha Senaratne added that even Ethiopia which became bankrupt after Sri Lanka, has given instructions to follow Sri Lanka's recovery. The inflation has come down and economic growth has been reported. Foreign reserves and revenues has also been increased. The parliamentarian further said that according to the information received, plans are underway for tax cuts. Electricity tariffs have been reduced. The MP added that these measures were not traditional, but he has experienced such actions on the global scale.
Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena says that government considered it as its responsibility to protect Sri Lanka Transport Board, considered as the backbone of the nation. The Prime Minister has made these remarks participating in a program to absorb the cadres of the SLTB according to the recruitment and promotional procedure of the staff of the board. The program was conducted at the Temple Trees. The Prime Minister has symbolically presented letters of recruitment of the staff of the institute. A group including SLTB officials have attended the event. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena said that despite whatever talks on development of the country, majority of the citizens still travel in buses. Even motorcycle transport has increased more, new cars are on the road. Yet people are compelled to travel in buses and trains. The Prime Minister also said that whatever the government that comes into power must consider its responsibility and attachment to safeguard this vital transportation service of the country. Minister Bandula Gunawardena said that the demand for season tickets is on the increase with increase of transport charges. The minister added that in this year's estimate, 20 billion rupees have been allocated of the provision of season tickets. In order to highlight the colossal status of the allocation, the minister has pointed out that only 20 billion rupees have been set aside for the reconstruction of entire 1,500 kilometers of roadways in the year 2024.
Deputy General Manager of Railways N.J. Indipolage says solutions have been provided to many of the demands of the striking train drivers. He points out that several office trains will be deployed in service tomorrow. Deputy General Manager of Railways N.J. Indipolage said that most of the demands of the railway work stoppage have been met. He added that special request was to grant promotions to the second grade for the train operators who have 5 years of experience in the third grade. Currently, 83 engine drivers are engaged in service as grade 3 drivers. Preparations are underway to grant promotions to grade 2 to 73 of these employees who have completed the eligibility requirements. The Deputy General Manager further said that they have come to know that 56 train journeys have been cancelled. Measures have been taken to add the fleet all the power sets currently in operational condition. DGM of Railways has added that retired drivers and inspectors have been utilised in services in 9 trains. Rupavahini Nana Mihira 2024 Scholarship Seminar Series got underway throughout the day today at the Upali Vijayawardena Memorial Hall in Kambrapitiya.
More than 1,000 children took part in this event.
Nana Mihira Shishyattwa Sammantrana Manawa 2024.
More than 1,000 students of the Naranderi National School have attended the event. It was presided over by the chairman of the National Television, Senior Professor Sudanta Liedage. The seminar series has commenced along with a program to enlighten parents of the students and a special workshop. Sponsors of the National Television organized the program on the village level of the CBL company, Samaposha, EV's company, H&B and Sunquick. Tomorrow's program of the Nana Mihira Scholarship Seminar Series will be conducted at the Puagdanad School in Beliatta. Students in grade 4 and 5 are invited to join the program.
Minister Nimal Siripala de Silva was engaged in an inspection tour at the eastern terminal of the Colombo harbour recently. He looked into the construction of the Colombo port's first semi-autonomous container terminal. Eastern Terminal is the largest and the first semi-autonomous container terminal being constructed in the island. This facility enables to anchor at a single instance 3 large-scale ships, and it also includes an anchorage which could place 55,000 containers in a yard extending in an area of 84 hectares. The latest and most semi-autonomous 12 gantry cranes and 40-yard cranes will be installed in the yard. The Sri Lanka Ports Authority says a sum of $540 million will be spent on the constructions in the eastern terminal of the port. The authority also hopes to operate around 3 million containers upon conclusion of the project. The minister has instructed the officials to finalize completion of the project and hand it over for operations by next September.
State Minister of Finance Ranjit Singh Balapitiya says that an interim budget will be presented for the year 2025. He told the media today that this measure will be taken by giving an opportunity for the candidates contesting the presidential election to declare their policies. State Minister of Finance Ranjit Singh Balapitiya said that according to the budget report of the year 2024, provisions have been made for income and expenditure until the 31st of December 2024. Parliamentary approval will have to be sought for a separate budgetary report for 2025. The State Finance Minister added that since current year is an election year, the President has instructed to give prominence to policy statement of presidential candidate in formulating the report. An interim account will be set up for the first 4 months of the year 2024. The government is implementing a democratic program. The State Minister added that as a government, they are able to prepare a budget report and it will be handed over to whoever wins the election.
The Casbah head office of the United National Party was declared open in Miriswata, Casbah today. The office has been named as Smart Casbah. Chief of Presidential Staff Sagala Ratnayaka has presided over the opening ceremony. The Mahasangha and people's representatives have graced the occasion. Chief of Presidential Staff Sagala Ratnayaka said that the party is ready for an election. He added that the presidential election will be conducted at the appropriate date. Sagala Ratnayaka further said that the president will contest as an independent candidate with the support of several parties and groups. He further said that the UNP has a responsibility to join hands with everybody and work towards the prosperity of the country.
Veteran poet and author Jayatissa Borulukuda, who had rendered an enormous service to nurture Sri Lanka's field of literary, has passed away at the age of 76 years today. Jayatissa Borulukuda, who was born in the year 1948, has had pre-military education from Dharmapala College, Pannipitiya. He was a graduate of the University of Sri Jayawardhanapura as well. Later on in life, he had joined the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation since its inception and was functioning as a director of administration of the corporation for a long period. He had committed himself for an exceptional service at the national television. Some of the songs which lyrics were composed by Borulukuda and became immensely popular include Me Avurudhu Kale, Sinahavan Rale, Atwela Kilihi and Upana Thanikama. He had written short stories, novels, children's songs and was also a scriptwriter of teledramas and other creations. The remains of late artist are scheduled to be brought to the residence 4th Lane, Dambaheni Road, Maharagama. The funeral will take place at the Kodigamuwa Public Cemetery at 3 p.m. next Wednesday. Stay tuned with international news after this break.
We now move on to news overseas. 4 hostages held by Hamas have been reunited with their families after being rescued in a raid that Palestinian officials say killed scores of people. Noah Agramani, Olmang Mirjan and Andrei Koslov, Shlomi Ziv were freed yesterday, 8 months since being kidnapped from the Nova Music Festival on October 7th. Israeli forces, backed by airstrikes, fought intense gun battles with Hamas in the Nusayrat area. The bodies of nearly 100 Palestinians were brought to the Al-Aqsa Martyrs Hospital, along with more than 100 injured. Palestinian officials say women and children were among those killed in the military assault. Images from the area show intense bombardment and hospitals continue continue to remain overwhelmed with casualties, including children. The rescue of hostages comes amid efforts for a ceasefire and hostage release deal between Israel and Hamas. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu has been urged to reach an agreement but faces opposition from far-right allies who claim military action is the only way to bring the hostages back.
Thousands of dead fish have blanketed the surface of lagoon in Mexico's northern state of Chihuahua as local officials blame the prevailing intense drought. The fish death camp during the long dry spells, the temperatures have climbed above 40 degrees Celsius. Officials have said that the lagoon's water level are dangerously low. Some form of drought is afflicting nearly 90% of Mexico, the highest rate since 2011. Chihuahua, the state, has been hit particularly hard with most of its territory engulfed by the most extreme levels of dryness. There was much less water in the lagoon for the fish to live in, and the remaining water was of poor quality, according to a Mexican ecology department. Mass fish deaths in the area have occurred in previous years when the lagoon dried up and fish stranded. Livestock, including cows and donkeys, are also perishing as dams run low and farmers struggle to rescue water.
All finals spots of the 2024 Chinese Dragon Boat Race were booked after fierce competition on the waters of Yancheng City in East China's Jiangsu province this morning. The Chinese Dragon Boat Race, the grandest stage for the traditional sport in the country, will hold its finals tomorrow, coinciding with the traditional Dragon Boat Festival. Over 800 athletes from 36 Dragon Boat teams across the country have entered this year's competition, which includes 100-meter, 200-meter and 500-meter straight-line races, as well as a 1,000-meter round-trip race. Colleges contributed the most teams in this year's Dragon Boat Race. Dragon Boat racing is a traditional activity held during China's Dragon Boat Festival, also known as Duanwu Festival, which traditionally falls on the 5th day of the 5th month in the Chinese lunar calendar. Dragon boats are designed to resemble the mythical Chinese dragon. Each boat typically holds around 8 to 20 paddlers sitting in pairs. The paddlers are accompanied by a steersperson as the rear end of the boat and a drummer at the front who sets the rhythm.
Macang, prima kotumi fantamai.
Moving on to sports news, the Australian team has been successful in defeating the England team by 36 runs in the World Cup T20 cricket tournament match played at the Kennington, Barbados.
The Australian team batting first has scored 201 runs for the loss of 7 wickets in 20 overs. David Warner hit 39 runs and Michael Marsh scored 35 runs. The England team was able to score only 165 runs for the loss of 6 wickets in 20 overs. George Butler has scored 42 runs.
Performance. No wonder wide open, you'd say, with the result.
In another T20 World Cup match, the South African team beat the Netherlands team by 4 wickets in the match played in New York. The Netherlands team batted first and scored 103 runs with the loss of 9 wickets in the allotted 20 overs. A special feature has been the South African team losing their first 4 wickets for 12 runs. However, an unbeaten knock of 59 runs by David Miller had rescued the team from the turmoil and guided towards victory. Ultimately, the South African team has scored 106 runs in 18 overs and 5 deliveries to secure victory.
The West Indies beat Uganda by 134 runs in another T20 World Cup match played in Guyana today. The West Indies opening the innings at 173 runs for the loss of 5 wickets in 20 overs. Johnson Charles 44. In reply, Uganda team was all out for 39 runs in 12 overs. This score is regarded as the equaling of the lowest score recorded in the history of T20 World Cup cricket. Previously, the Netherlands was bowled out for 39 runs in a T20 World Cup match against Sri Lanka.
The Sri Lanka team was engaged in a friendly football match against the Brunei team in Brunei yesterday. Sri Lankan players are engaged in a tour in Brunei to participate in 2 friendly football matches. Although both teams have shown their skills since the beginning of the match, none of them was successful in securing goal until the end of the first half. However, in the 59th minute in the second half, captain of the Brunei team, Mohammed Aswan bin Ali, had scored a goal and Sri Lankan players were unable to match this feat. Accordingly, the final score was 1-0 in favour of the Brunei team. The second friendly football match between the two countries is scheduled to be played next Tuesday.
First goal for Brunei Darussalam by jersey number 7, Muhammad Aswan bin Haji Rahman.
Macang, prima kotumi, fantamai.
And with that, we conclude tonight news. Do it just tomorrow at the very same time. I'm Charita, signing off with Sharifa. Stay safe. Good night.
Good night.